Okay, so I made that video previously about charging and the line at Costco. That wasn't to get anybody worked up or foaming at the mouth, but that's sort of what ended up happening. People were just outraged and furious. And I think it comes down to the fact that there's so much disinformation out there about EV charging. The reality is it is fast, it's easy, and it's mostly done at home. So you don't spend any time at any gas station ever. So people say, well, I can fill up my gas car faster than you can charge. Well, not really. So technically, yes. If I am going to sit in my car and do nothing else and just wait for my car to charge, I'm going to spend a lot more time at a level 2 charger than you would getting gas. But my point of the video was I could have been in IKEA and I could have parked at one of the Tesla superchargers. And during the time that I was in IKEA, 30, 40 minutes, I could have gotten to a full charge from the supercharger. And then I didn't need to do that, so I didn't hog the charger. I charge at home. But then coming out, people were still waiting in line like that at that Costco. They always do. All the Costco's around here are like that all the time. So my point was, I could have, even driving an EV, I could have easily charged my Rivian to full in around the same time that those people were choosing to wait in Costco, in line at the Costco gas station. But they were outraged and furious. And I can tell you that EV haters, the people that were commenting on my videos, were not educated, were believing the lies. And I tell my family this all the time, my wife and my kids, people believe what they want to believe. And I'm not any different than anyone else, but I do try and back that up with as many sources and facts and learn and find truth out there. And if you do any digging on EVs whatsoever, you'll find that it's astonishingly easy. It's not more expensive to buy in many cases. In many cases, it's cheaper. I really believe that. I really think I can show that to you and demonstrate it. You know, people are scared. That's what these nasty comments come down to, of, you know, people saying all kinds of things. You should have seen the comments that YouTube held back for review. People just got really, really upset and outraged that you can charge an EV. It takes less of your time to charge an EV than it does to pump gas. But if 80% of people are charging their EVs at home, 80% of people that own EVs are coming straight home, plugging in when they want to. Their cars are set to charge at the cheapest time of use rates during the night, and they wake up to a full charge. And then they go and drive their day. They spent zero time, perhaps 15 seconds total, plugging their car in and unplugging it. So this outrage and this fury from people, and all caps typing and hate, that's fear. These people are terrified. These EV haters are so afraid of change that they're just lashing out like crazy. So don't listen to the negative stuff. Do ask people you know that have EVs. I think most people are perfectly willing to be honest with you if you're in a position to have an EV or not. See how many miles you drive in a day or a week or a month. How often do you actually take road trips? Because it's not that EVs are not capable of doing road trips. They absolutely are, as out-of-spec reviews shows repeatedly. But there's also no denying that you'll spend a few hours less on pumping gas than you will charging an EV on a road trip, because you do have to sort of wait for it. That said, when you're on a road trip, you can sort of, in most places you stop on major freeways are going to have chargers of some kind, and chargers aren't out in the middle of nowhere. So they're near facilities, and they have, they're in shopping malls and restaurants and truck stops and all the rest of it. So um, when you're stopping to charge your EV, it's not wasted time. You can sit and have a meal. You can use the bathroom or whatever. And most EVs in 30 minutes, you're going to get the charge that you need, or less than 30 minutes. You're going to get the charge you need to get to, a couple hours down the road, 2, 3 hours down the road, where you're going to stop again and there's going to be another one. EVs have navigation built in that will help you do that. They'll do that for you. So you just follow the navigation and it will plan your stops. Even a 2,000-mile trip, it's just over 2,000 miles to go and see my family in Minnesota. If I drove my Rivian out there, it did say I'd have 8 hours of charging. It'd be like a 36 to 40 hour trip. But it's a little disingenuous, because if I do that trip one day, I will be stopping at hotels and charging overnight, and waking up to a full charge and driving that full charge, then stopping somewhere for lunch or whatever and charging some more. And then, so this isn't time that somebody in a gas vehicle would not be spending necessarily. So it's going to take longer in an EV, but how much longer? I really think it's pretty minimal compared to the benefits during daily use and the average person's drive. So if you're commuting, I charge my Rivian once or twice a week, sometimes 3 times if it's a crazy week. But I do it all at home. So it's not scary. Don't listen to the haters who are making these wild accusations and claims and just spewing. There was like a lot of personal attacks, rather than, and that's the risk, that's YouTube. But there's like a lot of personal attacks, rather than founded evidence. And please feel free to scroll through those comments and see for yourself that I did respond to some of those comments to try and educate people, but those people don't want to be educated. They don't want to know the truth. They just want to spew their hate, and they want to drive their gas car forever, and they never want anything to change. So hopefully it does make me chuckle. I do think those people will be driving EVs, and I don't think it's going to be that long before they do. So market trends have shown us that. Do your own research. It's not very difficult to do so. Charging is not scary. EV haters, I still love you. Thanks for watching my videos. So another comment that I did see on the video that I posted was, somebody said, do you want an EV in a disaster? And I said, I commented at the time immediately, yeah, I would rather have an EV in a disaster. If I'm not driving anywhere, I can use it to power things in my home. And if I am driving anywhere, the system that I have on my roof, I could charge my EV from. So, people in sunny areas like Florida, like the Carolinas, could easily have a system on their rooftop that would fuel their cars, even driving their max range every day if they wanted to. There was also a story of a Rivian, so they parked their Rivian near a river. It got washed almost a football field away by water and mud and garbage. In the video, it looks like the mud went almost all the way over the roof. I mean, the car was, it's insane. It's crazy. You have to watch the video. But then when he found the car after the event was over, after, they were dealing with cleanup and things, he went to find the car. It chirped, the door handles popped out, and it drove. There's no warning lights. He's rapid charged it since, and there's no problems. No mud or water got inside the cabin. It's spotless. It's really an impressive feat that Rivian's engineering did that. So it's not something I'd recommend people trying. But again, an internal combustion car with breather hoses for, the crankcase and the fuel tanks and everything else, your axles and differentials, everything. You cannot submerge an ICE vehicle like that and then turn the key. You can't, if it had keyless entry, you can't just walk up to it, fire it up, and drive away. That thing's toast. It's done. It's not going to work again. Whereas, or if it does, it's going to take a lot of work. Whereas the EV, the Rivian, just drove away. That's really incredible. I do think that's a bonus to owning something like a Rivian. That's part of the appeal to me. Is that, yes, it's absolutely the car I want during a disaster or the apocalypse or anything else. I can fuel it myself. I'm not relying on gas stations that are running out of, fuel, that have water ingress in their fuel tanks or any of the rest of it. I can make it. I can charge my own vehicle if I'm not driving anywhere because it's most likely, roads are blocked and it's not safe to travel. I can power my fridge and lights and other things at home. So that's the reality of it. So yes, an EV is the car I want in a disaster.